Eating black eyed peas on New Year's Day for good luck and prosperity has a long-standing African American tradition. Harriet Collins, whose family was formerly enslaved by Texas Governor Richard Coke, was interviewed in the WPA Slave Narratives, where she describes the African origins of this tradition and many more. Miss Collins said, "If you eat black eyed peas on New Year's Day, you'll have luck all that year." However, the interviewer, who was more than likely a white person, which was standard for that time, described Mrs. Collins' ancestral traditions as superstitious. Many people even refer to eating black eyed peas as superstitious to this day. However, mainstream white culture has long characterized African-derived cultural, religious, spiritual, magical beliefs as superstitious. Now, this was done in an attempt to dehumanize black people and also to intentionally justify enslavement and the intentional disenfranchisement that African Americans received long after. Right, however, but if we listen to what Ms. Collins is saying, we can actually see the root of some of this devaluation. Many people fear things they just don't understand. And as Ms. Harriet says directly in her interview, is white folks, they just don't understand some of these things. She talks about how her mother was taught many of these healing practices and doctoring directly from people from Africa and indigenous people in the Americas. Also, while attempting to subjugate African-derived traditions, Europeans in the Atlantic world, they feared its power, especially in the wake of the Haitian Revolution, where voodoo, another African-derived religion, played a central role in the eradicating of slavery by the enslaved themselves. And black eyed peas have a long centralized standing in these traditions. Before, during, and after the transatlantic slave trade, African people have used black eyed peas for a number of different things. Black eyed peas made a strong significance in the daily life of African Americans, whether eating them for New Year's or any other day, or even in places like Brazil or Cuba, where the Yoruba cultural traditions remain strong and orishas are given black eyed peas as offerings. Most of Mrs. Collins' narrative is full of the teachings that she learned from her mother that were passed down from African people and indigenous people of the Americas. We shouldn't think of eating black eyed peas on New Year's as a superstition. Instead, we should think of these as retentions that have survived centuries of intentional repression and devaluation that continue to guide our lives. Check out Mrs. Collins' narrative to learn something. Happy New Year. Eat your black eyed peas because it guides us on so many different ways.